Bagless. The celebration continues. Next up, I want to honor Tammy Nicole Myers, also known as Free Spirit, my poetic sister. I met her in 2016, and I'm thankful for the reciprocal, the reciprocity that she gives. She's encouraging. She's encouraged me in my poetry, and just in life. And I'm glad when we have wonderful spiritual conversations, and she encourages me. So shout out to Miss Tammy Nicole Myers, also known as Free Spirit. Also want to give a shout out to Coach Ja Smalls. I met him back in 2017. Awesome coach. I'm gonna say he should be worldwide poet. Ja Smalls, coach, poet, and all of the above. He is amazing at what he does. So shout out to Coach Ja Smalls. Also want to give a shout out to Lady V Poetry. I enjoyed going to her poetry events when, may lovely rest in peace. I'm going to miss her. Shout out to you, Lady V, praying for you. They definitely was holding it down in the Charlotte poetry community. And hopefully there will be more involvement in the Charlotte poetry community. However, I definitely want to highlight Lady V Poetry. And also may lovely rest in peace. Such a beautiful soul. Can't believe she's no longer on this earth and she's transitioned, but I definitely want to highlight both of them because I was able to share my poetry. As I'm a growing artist, I'm still learning poetry. However, I enjoy poetry, so I definitely want to give a shout out and give honor where honor is due. Want to give a shout out to Nemo, one of my other favorite poets, Nemo Some. And also want to give a shout out to Jim Love, honor Jim Love, poet Jim Love. He does a lot of work with mental health awareness. He's a suicide survivor. He was very instrumental when I was grieving the loss of a friend back in 2022. So shout out to him and honoring him on today. And so, shout out to all the poets and those that have been there and encouraged me when it comes to poetry. Want to give a shout out to Pastor Derek Lyons of Chosen Generation in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was very instrumental as well. Definitely want to honor him on tonight. Also want to honor Bishop Kelvin B. Pleasant and Lady Tracy Pleasant in Raleigh, North Carolina. Shout out to them, honoring them. My Raleigh people, Pastor Philip Brickle, who does a lot of wonderful work in the community of Raleigh, North Carolina. So these are just a few people in the honorable mentions tonight. I definitely wanted to cover a lot of people, and probably when I get off this broadcast, it'll probably be more people, but the people who've been in my life know who they are. And, I'm always giving credit and honor where honor is due. So, again, I thank y'all for tuning in tonight. This is Honorable Mentions Part 2. And, again, make sure that you honor those who are in your life. Appreciate those who are in your life. I know I'm thankful for the people who are in my life. Oh, and there's some other people. I got to give a shout out and honor Miss Gladys Wilson. She's like my second mom. I stayed with her for 5 years until I moved in my place, so I'm thankful for her. Also want to give a shout out to Alicia Wilson, my sister in Christ, my spiritual sister. Shout out to her. I cannot forget them. And also my friend Brooke. Shout out to my friend Brooke. So these are some people I wanted to include tonight in honorable mention. When we're on our journey in life, we don't do it by ourselves. No man is an island. No man is an island. God sends people across our pathway to help us in life, or for different purposes, different reasons. Different people come into our lives for different reasons, either for a reason, season, or lifetime. I got to find out who did that quote. People come into our life for a reason, for a season, and for a lifetime. So I just wanted to make sure on this episode that I highlighted some key people and, share the importance of honoring people that are in your life. I think I included some other people in the first episode. But anyway, this is your girl Mo Thoughts. Oh, one, I gotta mention somebody else. Shout out to Mega Jordan. Shout out to him. He's one of my supporters. I met him on Facebook. He's awesome. He also had a podcast, and he's one of my inspirations of why I restarted my podcast. He has such a dope podcast back in 2017, and he's an awesome young man. He's doing big things. He's just a very awesome individual, and one of my supporters that I've known through Facebook for a long time. So shout out to him. See, there's somebody else that I remembered. Yeah. So, so again, always remember the people that are in your life. Be conscious, of the people that are in your life. Reach out to those who are in your life. I know a lot of times, people can be busy, and, people say life could be lifing. But guess what? It only takes 2 minutes to reach out to someone, to reach out to people, and, to say, hey, how you doing? I'm checking in with you, and all of those things. Back in 2022, I wrote a poem called Check on Your Strong Friends. See, sometimes you think your strong friends don't need your encouragement and support and check in, but they do. They really, really do. So make sure you check on your strong friends as well. Well, this is the conclusion of this episode. This was a shorter episode, but this is part 2 of Honorable Mentions. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any advice, if you have any show topics, or you want to be a guest on the show, or if you want to be a sponsor, or if you want to get merch, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and to email me at hotchocolateconvo@gmail.com, and you can get some merch, support this great platform. I started Hot Chocolate Conversations in 2023, and it is relaunched in 2025. I relaunched Hot Chocolate Conversations in March of 2025. So Hot Chocolate Conversations is back and better than ever. So I want to give a shout out to all the people out there. You know who you are. Also want to mention poet, another fellow poet, Kim Height. Gotta give a shout out to Kim Height, another fellow poet, and also Adrienne Batista. I hope I'm saying it right. She's in the Philly area, and she reaches out to me and checks on me, so I definitely want to make sure I check on her as well. She's very inspiring and very encouraging, and she graduated from school, and she encouraged me to go to school. So I'm back in school. So shout out to Adrienne, my fellow poet. She's in the Philly area. Make sure y'all check her out. She's an awesome poet as well. Also, William Washington. God, can't forget William Washington. Shout out to the OG legend, William Washington, who is based in New York. I'm telling you, he don't look a day over 40. But my goodness, God bless that man. He can write a poem at the drop of a dime. So yeah, shout out to him as well. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Hot Chocolate Conversations. Make sure you join in the conversations. You can find me on Instagram. Instagram Hot Chocolate Convo. Also on Facebook, Hot Chocolate Conversations Podcast. Again, thank you for tuning in. This is your girl V Mayo. Until the next time. Hey everybody, this is your girl V Mayo, and I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Hot Chocolate Conversations. I welcome you to join in the conversation. Tonight's episode is Honorable Mention Part 2. Yesterday I did Honorable Mention Part 1, where I was, thanking people and honoring people who have been there in my life in all of these seasons of 17 years of finding myself growing and learning. And there were some people that I don't want to say forgot to mention, but I wanted to mention in this episode. I definitely believe in giving honor where honor is due, to people who have been in my life in the past, to people who are in my life now, and people who will be in my life, whoever those people are. because I definitely believe in divine connection. God has always brought people in my life. God has always brought people across my pathway. Right, just at the right time. Just at the right time. People that I've met that have been in my life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And I definitely want to honor those people. As you all know, I definitely believe in giving honor where honor is due. I'm going to tell you a little story. Back in 2020, I was thinking of my Aunt Marie. Uh, she was up in age. At that time, she was about 89. And I thought to myself, I need to start sending her flowers while she is living. And so what I started doing was sending her flowers. I didn't do it as often as I would have liked to have did it, but I made sure that I sent her flowers on the opportunities that I was able to do so. And each time I sent the flowers, I was told that she liked the flowers. And the reason why I did that is I wanted to make sure that she knew that I loved and appreciate her. She was the last one standing on the not the Duck family, the little Yarborough family. She was the only one that was living at that time. And I wanted to make sure that I honored her. So I sent her some flowers, and she enjoyed those flowers. So in 2023, when I found out she passed away, I was sad because she was gone, but at the same time, I wasn't like super down because she got to live a long life. She lived all the way to the age of 91. And I think that is such a blessing. I didn't have a chance to go to the funeral. I could have went to the funeral, but different family things and so on. So I decided to honor my Aunt Marie in my own way. And I didn't have any guilt. And you want to know why? Because I made sure that I gave her flowers while she was living. And that's what we need to endeavor to do. Give flowers to people while they are yet still living, while they can enjoy the flowers, while they can see them in their living room, while they can see it in their bedroom or wherever. Because guess what? When that day comes, when they're no longer on the earth, they can't smell the flowers. They're already on the other side. So I'm always making a conscious effort to do that. And I wanted to share that story. And, and also to encourage you, if there's flowers you want to send to somebody, send somebody some flowers today. Send an elder some flowers, like your grandmother or your aunt or even your sister. Honor people. Let them smell the flowers, while they are still living and while they're on this side. Well, anyway, I want to get into part 2 because there's some people that I didn't mention, and some of these people that I'm going to mention today, some of them are no longer on this earth, and some of them are, but I still honor them because they meant so much to me, and they mean so much to me. So this is not in order of importance, but just people that I remember, and people who that have come across my pathway. So shout out to all the people that have been in my life, in the past and in my present, and those who will yet to be in my life. When I look back over my life, I realized that I've been so blessed because God has always sent the right people at the right time. These are, people that just come into my life. God just knows who to send in my life, and that's so grateful. I used to focus on the people who weren't in my life or the people that, so on and so forth. But when I focus on the people that are in my life, that is what matters the most, the people that are already there. So one person that I want to honor that is not on this earth is Michael Judd. He passed away in 2023. And I worked with him when I was at the Wendy's in Raleigh. And I remember when I met him, he had that Barry White voice, but everybody loved Big Mike. We all called him Big Mike. And he, was in transition in his life, and, getting things together in his life. But I would always say to him things like, Mike, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of the progress that you're making, in your life. And, I was a supportive friend to him. He was like a spiritual brother to me, and I miss him very much. May he continue to rest in peace. But this brother taught me a lot about prayer and fasting. Oh my God. And the way he broke down prayer and fasting was amazing. He told me a story when he was going to church in Greensboro, and he had a spiritual dream, and he was saying how the deacons were jealous of him because he had a spiritual dream and God was giving him dreams and visions. But it's because Big Mike was praying and fasting and seeking God. Mike had a relationship with God, a deep relationship with God. He went through many things in his life. However, he always had faith in God and trusted in God. But I reconnected with him in 2023. I had a chance to talk with him over the phone. He was so glad about the different things, the good things that were going on in my life. And then after a while, I didn't hear from him after May 2023. But however, I remember one day I had a conversation with my cousin in October of 2023, I believe. Yeah, was it 2023? I think 2023. And when I Googled him, I found out he was no longer on this earth. I did not know that Big Mike was already gone. And I just had to get off the phone and pause for a second. And it took me a while to even grieve about that, because he meant so much to me in my life. And so, with that being said, I, will remember him for, teaching me about prayer and fasting. And some of the things that he told me about, I still hold fast to this day. So, shout out to his family, Miss Brenda and Miss Colette, praying for you guys. Big Mike was definitely a big part of my